right, y'all, we back with another episode of Dawg Talk. I am your host, J Mac. We are live at the Wraparound Terrace Suite at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, baby.
Yeah,
yes,
hey, you
sir.
are.
Yes, sir. Of course, I got my dogs with me. To my far right, I got Mr. KG, Mr. Kenny Gaines. Hold on. He about to say some shit. Let me hear it.
I ain't even have nothing prepared. But since you put me on camera like that, you know I ain't scared. It's your boy Kenny Gaines. What's happening, baby?
Yes, sir. And of course, to my right, I got Mr. KCP, Mr. Two-time himself, Kentavious Caldwell Pope. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling great. Hot in Vegas, but, you know, we're going to make it work.
Yes, sir.
I see you with the fresh cut.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good lineup for the pod. We like that.
Hold on, I gotta take my hat off. So
People
think I'm bald, so you know what I'm saying. I
got a question before we start this, but I want you to introduce the guests that we have today. But I never understood why when people get haircut they put on hats.
I mean,
yeah, that's a waste of money to me.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
I know the cut about 40, 50.
I just got a fresh lineup, and I'm going to put a hat on.
Yeah.
We'll get into it in the comments.
We'll
get into it in the comments. But anyway, of course, we're out in Las Vegas, and we're coming with special guests every single episode of this series. So, of course, we got a guy from Sandy Springs, Georgia. He graduated from the University of Georgia in 2007. He's an innovator, sports enthusiast, creative visionary entrepreneur, and of course, y'all might know him as the founder of PrizePicks. We got Mr. Adam Wexler in the building, man. How you doing, sir?
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
Man.
Good, man. Excited to be with y'all.
Man, we're excited to have you here.
I appreciate you.
I see you got the Georgia jersey on, you know.
I think that's your number, too.
Man, you know, you're number one around here, man.
Okay,
you know, we still popping.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, sir.
Nah, for sure. Okay, so being from Sandy Springs, what was like a day in the life of you as a youngin'?
Oh, man. Sandy Springs is not, is now not what it was like necessarily back then.
Yeah.
Right now, Sandy Springs is like where everybody wants to live. Like back then, we all wanted to live in Buckhead.
Right.
But no, I mean, Sandy Springs was, it was great because it was just a mix of all kinds of people. Sandy Springs is where, like in my high school, for example, 42 different languages were spoken. Now that was like a international baccalaureate high school, if I'm not mistaken, but just a crazy mix of people.
Yeah. So do you speak just English? Or what you got?
I mean, English is the main language.
What's one that you kind of like?
I took the whole catalog.
Yeah.
I took 4 years of Spanish, but don't ask me too many questions.
Come on, Migo.
I don't know any Spanish.
I'm like that as well. I understand like some words or like when you speak it to me, but I can't speak it back. You know, like I can't have a conversation with you. But
So if I say, ¿Cómo te llamas?
you know what I'm saying? No.
So he doesn't know Spanish, y'all.
Yeah.
Basics, man. That's
That was the most basic.
Yeah, but you're putting me on the spot right now. You got to think. I just said I don't know Spanish like that.
I still don't know the difference between un poquito or un poco. Like somebody's got to teach me that one.
I think one is like a little, and the other is like a little bit.
A little bit more.
Might be making that up.
Poquito is little.
Small.
Yeah. You got to know that. Yeah.
I got reminded recently about La Derecha, La Izquierda, because in Miami, it's like you hop in these cabs, you hop in these Ubers.
Oh, yeah.
They don't speak English, so you just gotta know which direction you're telling them to go.
So it's just kind of
that one came back to me.
I got you.
Man, so you grew up in Sandy Springs. You're a big sports guy. Like, walk me through what was the sports journey for you growing up, man?
Yeah. I mean, like everybody, played a bunch of sports growing up. Everything from baseball, soccer. Basketball though was always the one that I kind of stuck with. I was a big guy at a young age. I was literally 5'10" when I was 12 years old. I'm 5'10" right now. So, as I think I was giving you the heads up, like I literally have played all 5 positions. During my basketball career, but my basketball career did not last as long as y'all's did.
Did they think you were a phenom at 12? Like, bro, he's gonna make it.
So how about this? LeBron's actually 6 days older than me. So I remember when I first found out about LeBron when I was like 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, he, at the time he's probably like 6'4" or whatever. But I mean,
not too far off.
Yeah. But I mean, you should see some of these pictures when I'm in 7th grade, and it's like me, everybody else, and then you get to the coach.
Yeah.
So you're banging down in the paint with it.
Oh yeah, I still got those post moves.
Okay, so you got the
But
footwork.
I don't have anywhere to bring them out. So it's like,
Hey,
No men's league.
Well, listen. Hold on. I'm recruiting my men's
I was
league.
about to say, I was going to throw the line.
You got it.
6 feet and under, right?
No, I mean,
They got
no,
a little-
I got some
footage.
height. I got some height on
They got a
there.
little
I'm saying we
footage.
don't allow the guys who are 6 feet plus. It's just
Oh,
a 6
yeah,
feet and
it's
under
the
league.
6 feet.
Yeah.
I think I got one guy that's like about 6'2", 6'3", that's about the only one I know of.
Okay.
That's a bit, but
Yeah.
like that's on his team.
Yeah, so I could find a spot for you. Just tap in with me after this episode. You played all 5 positions. You good with me?
Right.
Who doesn't like an undersized post?
Exactly.
Mismatch.
Come on
You know
now.
what I'm saying?
Somebody's got to get that trash.
Exactly. Nah, that's so. What was like the most memorable thing from your high school basketball experience?
You know, played all 4 at Riverwood High School. You know, I mean, my if we're talking points, like I had a good run, you know, leading into my senior year this summer. Summer league, we were just talking to a couple of dogs. Like there was a guy named Leonard Pope, if you remember the tight end.
Yeah.
You know, Leonard was in that tournament. I remember we went up against his team. I'm pretty sure we actually romped that whole tournament. But I put up 24 in one game.
Chill out.
And then they were even calling plays for me.
Come on now. Yeah, you got your star on your hands.
We good. He's saving our
Mid
season.
range and threes or just more midi.
Yeah, I could do it from any.
Yeah, don't be humble now. If you striking it,
A
you striking it.
3-level score.
I'll tell you. I don't know if you would remember this name, by the way, but literally one of the guys who I said was one of the best players I ever played against was Paul Delaney.
Sounds
I
familiar.
think was it Paul? I think it was Paul from Chamblee High School, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And then I played against like played against the Douglas brothers at Jonesboro.
That my side of town.
I know there's a couple years in front of y'all, but
Yeah.
you know. But no, I mean, and then I actually broke my ankle before my senior year playing at Hammond Park in Sandy Springs.
I
And so
rode past that park a few times.
Yeah, so I never fully got a senior year in, unfortunately.
So that's when it went from D1 to hey, I'm just gonna, you know.
I'm just gonna go to sports business.
Yeah, we're gonna make a pivot.
Switch it up a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Still be into the sport.
So before you got to UGA, of course, like you have a rich family history too. Like you got some guys that went to UGA. So like walk us through that. Like what led you to go, hey, I'm gonna be a student there?
Yeah, I imagine you may be talking about my dad. So you know, my dad was ironically a 2-sport athlete over there. He played a year of freshman football with Fran Tarkenton. He went to Georgia. You know, any of the Hall of Fame people that we produced on the football field, Fran was one of the originals. And then my dad ran 4 years of track for this guy Spec Towns, who the track's named after. If you ever passed the track. But this is also when Georgia was like 5,000 people. My dad's a little on the older side.
Yeah, one of the originals.
So we're not going to build him up that much, you know. But yeah, I mean, so you know, my dad, my aunt, you know, my mom actually went to Florida, so I like to just say I came from.
The rivalry.
I know Jacksonville is jumping during that time, man, with y'all.
She was actually Steve Spurrier's year, so interesting that they were both kind of the same year as Hall of Famers. But then, you know, growing up, I grew up in Atlanta being a Georgia Tech basketball fan.
Yeah.
Going to a Georgia Tech basketball camp, and then eventually I was like, you know, there's a type of person who goes to Georgia Tech, and then there's a type of person who goes to Georgia.
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Right.
No, hold on.
I think no. That's one of my reason why I didn't go to Georgia Tech. I was like, for me, it was just too much in the city of Atlanta. Like a lot of stuff I could like get off into and not really be focused on what I need to. That's one of the reasons why I went to Athens too. Yeah, like just to get away from the city.
I told you I ain't want my mama popping up at my dorm. Like, hey,
that too.
did you take your vitamins?
I mean, look, I used to describe it as being far enough to be far enough, close enough to be close enough.
No, that perfect.
Athens is like the perfect fit for sure.
And then Athens is just a different vibe, man. It's a true college experience, man. Like from the downtown to the game days to everything. Just being a student, like it is a true college experience.
No, it's the best.
Yeah.
If I have to say so myself.
And we all agree.
Yeah. So if it wasn't Georgia, where would it have been? Would it have been Georgia Tech or would it have been?
No, I mean the 3 schools that I you know applied to back in the day were Georgia, Florida. I think maybe a nod to my mom, and then Michigan. Back in the day, you know, from an athletics program, whether it be basketball and football, you know, Brady and Greasy were coming out of there at the time.
Wow.
So,
So when you were at Georgia, I know you majored in real estate. So what led to that change? So I'm going from real estate to just being sports. Like what led to that?
So, you know, my dad was in the commercial real estate game. My mom was in the residential real estate game, or at least I thought. So that's why that's why I did the major. Turned out I figured out after the fact that my dad was a journalist covering the real estate industry.
Okay.
So maybe Grady might have been more appropriate than Terry, but so I do the Terry College of Business.
Okay.
And then, but while I'm in it, I'm just like, man, I'm just not very passionate and fond of this material and this lifestyle, whatever. And so I had some mentors telling me you got to go do what you love. Well, I was like, all right, well, there's two things I really love, and that's sports and music. And so conveniently enough, I was doing a music business program that had just started at Georgia, and then I did a leadership program as well. But when I'm looking at sports, about getting in the sports business side, I mean, literally one of your only options is to go cold call. This is 2006, 2007.
Yeah. Before AI was cold calling folks.
Very much before AI. But yeah, I mean, literally some of your only options were to go cold call it for the sports teams. Getting paid $10 an hour, you got to work your way up from the bottom up. Yeah. Wasn't really, excited about that. But what was happening in the music industry was kind of crazy because you had all of a sudden all these like digital, music startups were coming up, Pandora, Shazam. I mean, obviously this was after like Napster and all that other disruption that was happening. So there was a lot of interesting things happening in the music industry over that kind of like decade leading up. Yeah. Sports wasn't really getting digitized as I would describe it. Like these days you hear like I was a mentor for the Techstars sports program for 5 years. There's a lot of cool sports technology these days. It wasn't like that back in the late 2000s in my opinion. So I ended up getting into the music business right out of school, and then eventually made my way back to sports, in my late 20s.
Yeah. So since music kind of intrigued you a bit, did you play any instruments or anything?
Played a little guitar in high school, but I was more of a basketball player more than anything.
Okay, I got you. So how many years at Georgia did you actually spend there?
Spent 4.5 in school. I describe it as going back from my redshirt year.
Okay.
My redshirt fall, yeah. and then I stuck around in Athens because low cost of living, as we all know.
For sure.
Yeah.
And what better place?
But it's a great city too, though. Like
great city.
Yeah. The prices do make it greater.
The prices make it greater. The downtown scene makes it greater.
For sure.
But yeah, no, I mean, but then it was a great place to start a startup. When you try to keep it, low budget.
Right.
What better place to do it? We were leveraging, university resources, to be honest, the Student Learning Center.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. So literally my first two digital startups were started out of Athens, and then a couple months into the second one, we moved it to Atlanta at some point. So yeah.
What was that first breakthrough for you, like in terms of like, you're an entrepreneur? What was that first company that like really just like paved the way for your career?
So my first startup was a music discovery startup called Go Rank 'Em.
Okay.
We help people, sort through the catalog. There's a lot of music catalogs out there right now, more every year, right? And there's a big difference between the best songs and what the fans of each artist believe are necessarily the best songs. Like there's the most commercially viable, but then there's also the fan favorites. So we basically allowed the fans to go in and rank their favorite songs from their favorite artists. Take Drake. Yeah. You rank your favorite Drake. You rank your favorite Drake. We all do it. Yeah. We're all going to have different lists. We put all those lists together. I basically took how people used to do like the college poll system. Mm-hmm. So like, how like, a coach's poll or an AP poll, number one team gets 25 points, number two team gets 24. Right. I applied that same logic to the music catalogs, right? So you rank, but it was off of like a top 20. So your number one song was getting 20 points, number two, 19, something like that. And then all of a sudden you look at these lists, and these lists are completely different than what you find on Spotify or iTunes in terms of how they rank order it. Mm-hmm. And so we had product market fit, which is what they say, when you got some of that consumers are feeling. Problem was we couldn't find a business model for it. So, I'm in my mid-20s at this point, and I'm just like, just reaching for every odd job I can find at that point, just trying to make ends meet. And at some point I had to abandon that, put that, original startup on ice. But it was the marketing that we were doing for the original startup that we turned into a B2B SaaS marketing software, social media software. And that one ended up being used by all of the some of the biggest brands in the country, a bunch of Fortune 500 brands. Everybody from, one of our originals was Holiday Inn and IHG. Mm-hmm. Then we did Home Depot, UPS. Then once we had the home front, in a good spot, then we went out and did NBC Universal and UFC and just all these different verticals that we were serving. And it was cool. And so that was the kind of first taste of success financially in my professional career.
So at that time, what age were you when you hit that point in your career?
I think I was late 20s, so like 28-ish, when Insightpool, my second startup, started taking off. Mm-hmm. We became one of the fastest growing companies in the state of Georgia. And that was a fun ride, for a little while. But then, in I think it was 2014 when I basically started to phase out of it because there was a couple things. Like number one, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I just like to
can't stick with one thing.
I just like to start stuff.
Yeah.
And so I had a couple ideas I wanted to pursue, but one of them was actually I'd been a fantasy sports consumer for since I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
And, every fall would roll around. The problem that I would notice would be, we'd have 12 plus friends get together for fantasy football, but nobody wants to collect the money to make it a little interesting.
Gotcha.
And so I'm like, man, that's what technology could help solve, just create, solve a problem like that. And so that was what got me into the fantasy sports industry. At the time, I also started like another solution to a problem that I noticed at the B2B company. And I put those two businesses under one roof, kind of hedging my bet. And both of them started to take off. They both got angel funding, but this was right around 2015 when FanDuel and DraftKings were raising hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah. So it was an exciting time to be in the fantasy sports industry.
That's when when you first started. That's
first popped off. I'd say. Yeah.
When it first popped off.
And then just to pull it back just a bit, like also right as I was phasing out of the second startup and about to get into fantasy sports, the Atlanta Hawks CEO had just come in there, and he was looking for a digital marketing expert.
Who better to call?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to that because I was very interested in that because you were part of that 60-win season of everybody in Atlanta knows that. Wow. I'm thinking we're about to win a championship that year. You know what I mean? Everybody's thinking.
I didn't know this, so
yeah, go ahead.
That was congratulations on that.
Yeah. So walk us through that whole journey of leading into a 60-win season. You playing a key part in that.
Man, I remember. So let me actually back it up. Preseason, my contract gets held up because of the controversy with the GM. I think it was Danny Ferry said some shit.
They were trying to get rid of him at the time. Yeah, I get it.
There's a little hot water over there.
What was supposed to be a 9-month deal got turned into a 6-month deal. And because Coonan, who's the CEO, had heard from Peter Gruber that the foundational element to a championship organization was a digital community or something along those lines. Yeah. So that's where he felt like I was a pretty valuable, piece to the whole, organization. And so finally we get the contract done. I actually had to carve out in my contract that I'm starting a sports business. Yeah. This fantasy sports company in my contract. And so I come in and I'm looking at the roster and I'm just like, man, like this team is not going to be very good. I'm like, who's your sixth man? I think Schroeder was going into his second year. And, like maybe he's going to be all right, but like as your sixth man, like I was not feeling good about that. Yeah. And then they put 4 guys in the All-Star game and like we just win 19 in a row. And I'll piece it together what was happening on the court and off the court. So like, for example, I was in the meetings with a lot of the C-suite, but then I was mostly working with people in the marketing team. And like, so when the Hawks like rolled off like 19 W's in a row, we did that with the Hawks in the Twitter. If you remember on SportsCenter, they highlighted us putting the 19 W's in the Twitter. Yeah. Or like the thing that I'm probably most well known for during my tenure was one of the first days I'm there, CEO says, we got to do a Tinder night. And so I was basically responsible for what became the swipe right night. Yeah. And we were trying to work with Tinder because he was very very adamant that we had to be first. He was thinking somebody else is going to do this if we don't do this. And I don't know if you would have remembered this while you were playing ball or watching SportsCenter, but like, I mean, it became like a big SportsCenter story. USA Today front page, like Today's Show. That was a crazy one that we did in January of like 2015. And then the last one that I think was kind of also highlighted on SportsCenter was like after the season, we like thanked our fans through a Spotify playlist or whatever. Just like using like the names of like these songs that were like, to like, that was the letter, but using the names of the songs and stuff. So all that to say like, hey, I can't take any credit for what was going on the court. Yeah. But when you think about these organizations holistically, there's some organizations better than I do that are really good, that are really strong, both as far as the team goes, but also on the corporate side. And when you put that all together, it can kind of create magic sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like you definitely got to have both. Like, you got to be able to market your team, and then also have the players to be able to do that as well.
Yeah.
So
I feel like because it creates a good vibe, not only for the fans, but it makes it fun for the players too.
Yeah.
Outside of just the success on the court, it's like like we're coming into the arena, and it's creating an aura that makes us want to play at home.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised that the Warriors, obviously they've had awesome talent, but they also had a lot of great people behind the organization that were very successful in their business careers.
Right.
And that it was the mecca for a long time of like the most innovation in the world.
Yeah.
And so it was no surprise to me that in the 2010s that's the team that created the dynasty.
Yeah.
And it was interesting that never happened. Like I remember I was hearing somebody say that Steph didn't even want to go play for the Warriors when he was drafted. I was hearing that
I heard
the other
that
day.
too
Because it wasn't popping. Like,
I think they were kind of they were right here a little bit. They were just right here. They weren't there, but they were on their way up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see that. Though.
I mean, they Baron Davis had a little good run over there.
They had a couple. They had players. They did have
between
players.
Baron and Steph, that was bad.
I mean, but you got to understand.
Yeah, those shadows.
You talk about somebody who's good on the pickup court, Monte Ellis.
Monte Ellis.
Yeah, because
they did have
he still was
Monte
playing
Ellis.
when the Steph was over there.
He was over there first, and then he went to Indy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was saying he was hooping over there like they had like some hoopers come through now before Steph.
Yeah. But would you say that like Steph, or they kind of created that, like that social media aspect or like the digital aspect? It came with Steph, or like?
I think it came like after like they, because he kind of like, let's just say he changed the game a little bit as far as like shooting the ball from the 3-point line.
Sure, most definitely.
I think that it did come with him like once they started like shooting them type of shots, and getting that type of buzz.
I mean, Steph was made for social media.
Right. Yeah. Like every kid right now.
Social media was made for Steph. Yeah.
They shooting it. Like,
No more Kobe's.
No more Kobe.
Yeah,
But,
right, man.
But they're just saying though, I think he did bring it, with him, because he was doing the same thing at Davis.
Yeah.
Like, so when he was in college, like he was hooping. Like he had the fan base. He had the just like the fans behind him.
Yeah.
He had the aura.
Yeah, he had that aura. So once he got drafted, like he had his first 3, it was over with.
Yeah.
So Steph was a great marketing person for sure.
No, definitely. Do you encourage your kids, because I know they all play basketball? Do you encourage when they shoot shots, instead of saying Kobe or Steph, KCP?
No. Me just focus. Like, just shoot the ball, play basketball. Like, once you if you get a little hot, you on a hot streak, then
go crazy.
Go crazy. do what you do. But,
And I don't think there's a kick. It's all the same every time he puts it up. It's the same shot.
Very you're right. Yeah,
I'm very simple when I play. Now if I'm hit 3 threes in a row, maybe 4.
You gonna swag it out a little bit.
Yeah, it might little fade away thing sometimes. I might just do something off the dribble.
Yeah.
But like I earned that. I
Sure,
just hit 4 in a row.
Yeah, come on. Let me get
one
loose.
more.
You know what I'm saying? Let me get freaky out here.
I've done it to a point where I know I'm about to be checked out.
Yeah.
Like, man, give me the ball.
Come on.
Go down and shoot it.
I'm about to heave it.
Right, give me one more shot up.
Right.
Right. But like, I ain't never encouraged like my kids to do that, just cause like, I'm their favorite player because I'm their dad. But like, my kids have favorite players. Like, man, which they are a good player. Like Kenzo's, I don't know who he is.
Who's your favorite player?
Who's your favorite player, Kenzo? He don't even know. Anyways, but my KJ, my junior.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis. That's his Anthony Davis, and then Kendrick's. He more of a football soccer player. He like Ronaldo.
I about to say he goes.
Like he like Cristiano
FIFA.
Ronaldo though. Yeah, that's his thing. But and also like that, he real shifty too now.
Yeah.
He'll break down on you.
Come on.
Okay, for sure.
All right. Well, to take a pivot from basketball, now this is something that I have noticed because I follow you on social media, and I know you a bit personally. I'd like to say myself. You are really, really into music and live shows. So tell us a little bit, and tell the fans a little bit, kind of about your passion into the live music space.
Sure. I mean, I kind of touched on it before, but I was in the music business program at Georgia. Mm-hmm. Man, I've been going to concerts, since I was, at least high school, probably some middle school. But man, I don't know, man. I love live entertainment as a whole, right? Gotcha. But the funny thing, the ironic thing is I've made a name for myself as this like digital sports entrepreneur. But to your point, like I actually may lean slightly more towards like more of the music side of the live entertainment world. And you know, I had that my original startup was music discovery. You know, there's some things that we got in mind with the UGA Music Business Program, and that where there's ways that we can, you know, give kids internships and stuff. I don't know if this is the time and place to really go too deep on it, but you'll be hearing more about that in the future.
Okay, yeah. So y'all stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you follow.
Part two.
Right? Yeah. We're gonna run it back.
But yeah, I mean, as far as going to shows, man, I love going to shows and just everything that goes into it. The production. I just took a night in Denver on my way here. Did my first night at Red Rocks last night. That was pretty cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I be living through you, bro. Every time you post on your story, I
live in Denver 2 years, and I've only worked out at Red Rock. I've never been to a concert.
Yeah, you got to go to a concert there.
Is it live?
Special,
no,
special place.
No, it's a special.
No. After the show,
it's a special place both ways. You know what I'm saying? Because like the morning times, like when you're working out, it's a great, you know, some sightseeing out there. You know, if you get what I mean. Right. For sure. You know, and then you got your nightlife where like live music, like, and it's like everybody just come there, man. I've heard a lot about it too, but I only worked out there. But wish I could have went to experience that.
We got to get on the road. So we
got to hit the road with you. We
got
to hit the road with Adam.
Yeah, we're getting on the road. Just let us know where you're going next, and we there.
And I'll tell you, man, like, you know, I agree that some of my content, I'm like, man, if I only had as many followers as KCP, like, man,
you be going crazy viral off of it.
Bro, we definitely get that. That's definitely take that trip to Denver. I love Denver too. Yeah, that was a great place.
Since you're a man that travels a lot, you know, go to different venues, what's that one place that you like love to go to on the regular?
Oh man, you know, so I'm born and raised in Atlanta. And I spent first 30 years of my life in the state of Georgia. Sure. But you know, Miami's home right now. You know, I'm super prideful about building a business out of Atlanta, and building a big, you know, consumer brand out of Atlanta. But like, you know, Miami like just checks so many boxes for me these days. So you know,
you got it all in one city.
Yeah, everything.
You got it all in one city. You know.
What more to ask for? Though,
you got the water. You got no rain. When I rain sometimes.
It's raining season.
It is raining.
Definitely. It was just raining the 4th of July. Like that week, I was down there. Yeah, it was raining almost every day.
Yeah, Miami has a great aesthetic. All the way around. I told you, I lived through you, brother.
We just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, we just gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? So who? Let me see. What state do you think has the best music?
Not Miami, not Florida. Yeah. Because man, like it's a little too house in Florida. Like, man, they don't. It's like we'll literally throw some events. We'll be like, it's a music with words party. Yeah.
Not house music.
The whole time, like, I would like to hear a lyric or two.
We like literally like one of the biggest gaps we have in the market is we don't have like 1,000 person, 2,000 person venue where like the bands, you know, won't come down because they don't want to bring their vans all the way down from Atlanta down all the way to Miami just to get back up. So to answer your question, I mean New York probably. New York, Nashville.
Okay. You know, New York is I didn't.
Oh man, everything goes through New York. Yeah. So I lived in Manhattan like leading up to the pandemic. Yeah. So that was a fun little run too.
You get more live music in Nashville, right? Like there's more.
I mean, the caliber of the singers in Nashville, in New York, and in Austin, Texas, I'd say you can't find that anywhere else.
Austin, Texas is underrated. A lot of people don't know about Austin, Texas. Yeah. It's a real underrated. Yeah. For real? I wanted to move there. Yeah. Full time.
Austin to Dallas.
I'm moving to Dallas, but I'm saying now. Okay. I mean, back then I wanted to move to Austin. Yeah.
Why Dallas?
I saw that in the back too.
My wife is from Dallas. Kind of like goof, like fond of Dallas, like just going visiting, like just spending time there with the family, and I want to like, you know, get a few acres. Come on, you know, I want like pretty much.
It's cheaper in Texas, ain't it?
Yeah, and it's like kind of like where like where I want to build my dream home, like where I don't ever have to leave my house. Yeah.
Get you the Tony Parker water park. You seen that?
No.
Bro, he has a whole water park in the backyard. Have you seen? Oh, none of y'all? Man, it's a whole water park in the backyard.
I can see that.
It's another former NBA player. He has a crazy house, like on like a baby island in Austin, Texas, somehow on a crazy lake.
Baby island.
Yeah, baby island is crazy.
That's a baby island.
I don't know. It's just the baby island.
So since we're here with two UGA basketball greats, man, and you're heavily invested into the UGA basketball program in terms of just fandom, your booster, all of that. What is it going to take to get UGA to that next level, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, I appreciate the question, but I'm going to be posing some questions to these guys too. You know?
I'm going to definitely answer some too, because I'm still trying to help out as well. So like I would love to like just bounce my ideas off each other.
For sure.
So, yeah.
I mean, let me if I can take it back all the way to the 90s, right?
Come on.
So as I mentioned before, I was actually probably a little more of a Georgia Tech fan when Bobby Crimmins was there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he had a couple of nice runs with them, but I was paying attention to what Tubby Smith was doing, and then there was Ron Jersa for a second, and then Jim Herrick.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jim Herrick was there for definitely less than 5 years. It must have been, but man, like they were going somewhere. Like that team from 2002 had like 6 guys. That rotation was just super strong.
Yeah, they had some dudes,
and like I thought they were going to be a Final Four contender. And then we got in trouble. And this is like, I think this is either while I was a junior or senior in high school. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea that it was just going to send us just in the direction that it sent us. I describe it as almost like, especially, when Felton was there. Y'all played under who?
Felton. We were under Fox.
Fox.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Foxy.
Was he right after Felton?
He was right after, I want to say he was. I think he was.
I couldn't tell you.
There might have been
the
somebody
last
in
few
between
coaches at
for a
Georgia.
second, but
I'm gonna do some research. But yeah, talk about
I'm trying
it.
to think.
But-
I don't know, but yeah.
But I mean, like, man, like, we were in the dumps, for the rest of the 2000s, and that was and that was all of my time, in school, and all of my time, largely most of my time in Athens, I guess, because you got up there what year? 11. So I think I was leaving around that time.
Okay.
It was Felton, by the way.
Okay, it was Felton.
Yeah, it was Felton, then Fox.
Then Fox.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, SMU got the death penalty in football. I'm not saying we got the death penalty, but we haven't been able to really get over that hump in 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate what y'all did to help try to build the program back.
For sure.
But it's been a tough go. Yeah. And then just I've been looking at just college basketball and everything that's going on with NIL, in the last couple of years. I'm telling you, like, a lot of what's happening in college athletics right now really reminds me of what was happening in like the sports betting, fantasy sports world back in like 2016, 17, 18, where they're like laws were getting passed, a lot of things were changing. If you're like an innovator, an entrepreneur, like you can find some edges and figure out how to work the system to your advantage a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting. Like I mean, the whole dynamic of when we were able to kind of, Florida was like trying to get the next Billy Donovan, and they didn't think Mike White was good enough, so we were like, all right, we'll take him. It's not like we have those kind of expectations at this point, And so
somebody come do something.
Yeah, we bring in somebody like Coach White that can definitely help us get to the next level, and I saw that build starting, and I wanted to get involved, like you referenced, like, so I got involved last summer and got involved with the program, both a little financially, but also even more so with my time, and like I said, like. Between what I've done in the sports industry over the last decade, building up PrizePicks and the network that I've made and the respect that I've gotten, and then you combine that with I was a mentor for the Techstars sports program where I saw the latest and greatest technologies, and then just my background, just growing up with basketball and whatnot. I'm like, man, like I know I can be helpful.
Yeah, you can.
Question
make some.
Question is how, not if. And it's like, I mean, it's a long time coming that we're connecting here, so I appreciate my guy Kenny, making it happen.
I told him too. I appreciate it. It has been a while.
And like I said, I want to hear from y'all as well, because I mean, the thing that is really kind of tripping me up this second, to be honest, is that with the new stipulation, the House settlement, and tell me y'all's understanding of this. Yeah. And I pose this question to Coach as well as the assistant AD, but I do believe that the teams that are going to have a real leg up in the next couple of years until they change something are going to be the teams that are like the basketball only schools. So I think this might be like the last year that Florida is really good.
Yeah.
I think, but I before you know it, I think the Gonzagas, the VCUs, there's a reason St. John's is back around.
UConn.
Rutgers, UConn. I mean, like, I think those schools are going to have a real advantage in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And so the question is, like, you know, we could say we're going to try to go win the SEC, but can we win the national championship if we don't have the budget, the full budget that they're put into use?
Right.
Right.
Because they're throwing some money up.
But I'll tell you, like, the last thing I'll say before I want to hear from y'all is, like, where I can be most helpful outside of, like, helping with roster construction, and maybe I'll get into that game, you know, at some point. But like, I'm actually honed in on, like, the basketball operations budget, because I know that there's more technology that we can be put into use.
For sure.
I know that, you know, I heard, like, last year, like, they wanted to, you know, bring in another, like, you know, GA or something like that. I'm like, but they didn't have the budget or something. I'm like, all right, let's talk about having built teams, having built organizations before.
Yeah.
I know how you put together complementary pieces. So I want to talk business with the coach and the program about what do we really need to get to the next level, and that's where I can be most helpful right now.
I got you. Yeah.
But I mean, y'all are the ones who, you know, I mean, KCP, you're one of the faces of the program, you know.
You got your face in the gym, brother.
I tried, for me, how I tried to help, you know, as far as, like, just getting the players, you know, try to build a program that way. That's how I got into it when I got introduced to Coach White and started talking to him. Like, that's what they was lacking at the time. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have the funds to get the type of players that they needed, or, like, to take the program to the next level. So that was where I was helping that mostly. But I like what you were saying, like, just as far as, like, going in a little bit more deeper, like what actually do you need, you know, for us to get here, you know, and instead of just going after players, you know, like, how do we, like, if it's a foundation, how do we build it from the ground up, you know, to where we want it to be?
Because it's a reason that, like, if you look at NBA teams, while they have so many coaches and assistants, they almost got twice as many as the actual roster of the basketball team. But it's not like they're wasting money. Those are strategic pieces to help with strategic things that, you know, in the background help things on the forefront. So no, I definitely agree with you on that.
And another thing I'll point out, and this is the kind of conversation I've had with, like, Coach and some others, like, over the last year, but, like, when y'all were in school, and tell me if this makes sense to y'all, like, the coach was mainly responsible for, you know, coaching and recruiting out of the high school ranks. All right. Now they say, like, the college ranks are getting professionalized, and you've seen both of them, you know, for a long time now. I mean, if you think about the pros, you got the owner, and then you got the CEO, and you got, like, the GM, right? And then you got the coach.
They got assistant GM too.
But it's kind of like a diamond,
right?
And as the way I think about it. And then in college, you got this coach and the AD who's, like, fractionally a part of the program,
right.
But it's basically all on the coach. But now, not only is he responsible for coaching, recruiting in high school, he has to retain the team,
right?
And he's got to recruit in the transfer portal, and so, like, that's a lot. So what I'm saying is, like, and I've, like, asked Coach White, like, direct questions, like, all right, like, I'm a big believer in, you know, people playing to their strengths. And, you know, one of the things he said back to me when I was kind of posing the question, I was down in the Bahamas with the team, you know, last fall. And he was like, I just want to coach, you know, and I'm like, I want you to coach.
Just focus there. Like, that's all we need.
Like, it's like, if that's what
I'm not going to do that.
But I get what you're saying, though, because, like you said, to your point, in the NBA, like, they do have all these positions, you know what I'm saying, to handle that type of, you know, like, to handle that organization, you know, like, there's a lot of things that's in place for it to take the stress off the coach, you know, for the coach just to coach, you know, in practice and in games, you know, be able to do film, you know, he don't have to be like they thinking about recruiting somebody or, like, this and that. So I like, to your point, man, I definitely understand that, and I think, like, a lot of colleges, like, do need it or don't have it, you know.
I think it's kind of been introduced at some schools as far as that GM role, and we had kind of spoke about that before.
Well, yeah, a lot of schools are doing it.
Yeah, because it's literally much needed in the space that now, like you said, college sports is now turned semi-pro, and in the form not only just payment, but as far as like structure of the organization and behind the scenes, how you make the things on the court make a whole lot more sense.
But like it just some of the like the GM positions, like it's like current NBA players, which they can be involved, but not as much, you know what I'm saying, as you want it, because like, all right, can I call the guy, like how as a GM, like how do I pursue it, like if I'm still playing, and stuff like that.
I feel like that position is kind of I don't know the roles of these guys, but I feel like it's more show.
That's what I'm saying. What I was hearing, it was like they just wanted for some team, some schools
like
Trae
Young
for the face.
Yeah, it's like how often are you going to be called?
So they get recruits, you know what I'm saying, like they're able to have, him in a workout, or with Trae or something like that.
But that's competitive edge though.
It is.
They're leveraging that positions for however they see it fit. If it's whether, hey, look, be a GM and we need you to make those calls and show up to these events, do that, or hey, look, just be like a big brother mentor to these guys, to where it's kind of just access that allows us to have that advantage over.
That's what Terrence. That's how Terrence Mann is doing his.
I feel like Terrence Mann is
doing his school. Yeah, he's doing that, like just such talking to him, like being that big brother.
If Georgia called you and said they wanted you to do that,
Chuck called me and asked me would I do it. I told him that just have Josh call me. Like, talk about it now,
Josh. Wherever you are, make sure that you call kids so we can get some things going.
I would love to do that, because when I first got into the league, that was one of the things. As I got years into the league, that's one of the things I wanted to do. Yeah. It's like recruit for a team. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go back to Georgia and just be the recruiter for them. Yeah. Go to these kids, boom, boom, boom. I've had the experience in the NBA, stuff like that. So that was my first ever position I wanted to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me kind of build on this a little bit. So part of what kind of got me, saying, all right, now I'm ready to kind of lean in, is like, what, Asa was like our first 5-star since you?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Ant-Man.
Correct. All right. So it's 3 of y'all.
Asa, Ant, then you.
Yeah. But you got, and I mean, obviously that was the pandemic year with Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So we got Asa, and then the next year, you got Dominique's kid coming into the program. So I'm like, we got this little window building where all of a sudden these kids that are 8, 7, let's say the high school kids through the college kids, they're going to start playing all these Neek highlights again, right? And then they're going to see Jacob making his own highlights. Mm-hmm. And then we got another strong recruiting class for what it's worth, just from high school and transfer portal. I mean, so we're just this is a nice little stretch we got going here.
Yeah. You have to build off it, which I was the only 5-star recruit, since Dominique Wilkins, which is crazy. It was long period of time.
It's 40 years.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for coming,
I made my decision my 11th grade year. My senior year was a breeze. I just chilling. So I ain't had to worry about that pressure or choosing the school. Uh-huh. I narrowed it down to 5. It was Tennessee, Florida State, Georgia, Alabama, and it was one more school.
I think it was Auburn. Was it Auburn? I think it was Auburn.
Maybe it was. It was all SEC schools.
Yeah.
And I made my decision. It was so quick. It was maybe 5 minutes.
And why?
Me wanted to stay close to home. At the time, I was a homebody. I was a little mama's boy. I wanted to be close to home. Make sure my mom was able to get to me. My family was able to travel and see me. And it worked out. But my freshman year, I think I was home every weekend. I ain't even stay on campus.
Yeah,
I was homesick. That was my first time ever leaving the small town Greenville. Yeah. And going to a campus where it's 35,000 people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a little shock for me. Yeah. I was home almost every weekend. I go to class, go practice, and that weekend I was home. Yeah. Until my sophomore year, where I was like, I ain't going home. It's something which is crazy. Something just clicked. It's I might as well just stay on campus.
I mean, you had enough of it. You grew up in it, then you did one more year of it. It's hey, now just hang out with us, please. Thank you.
The reason why I chose not to go home that year was the summer. The summer school, when we had summer school, we was all there by ourselves.
Yeah, that's when I first got there.
I was about to say, when you first got there, I probably had the best summer, at the time. I was like, no, I'm staying. I ain't going home.
Yeah.
I'll say one last thing about this recruiting thing, and we've had Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler, 2 highly talented guys that come out of our state.
Yeah.
And I said on that podcast, I said this is beyond the business side of it. What's going to take for Georgia to take it to the next level is we have to win the state of Georgia. Regardless, because Bruce Pearl wins the state of Georgia every year. And that's going to take us to the next level. Besides what's going on the business side is winning the state of Georgia. And then, of course, the business leads into that.
I was about to say, but that leads into, like, kind of the different personalities between Bruce Pearl and Coach White. Because Coach White is like, hey, look, I just want to coach. And Bruce is like, hey, I want to coach. I want to turn the city up. I want to be the president of Auburn.
That's his personality.
But I think, from what I've gathered about Coach, like I think he's what I've appreciated is his willingness to let me lean in
for sure
and ask questions and provide the answers, because I'm just like, man, it was all so foreign to me at first, because I had that exposure on the corporate side with the Hawks, but I had never once again, college is just a different game. But back to your point, like, I think I do think there's another element where college is quickly evolving, and y'all probably, everybody's seeing this at this point, is it's less about winning high school recruiting, and it's actually more about winning portal recruiting now. So I actually think that's where we can actually thrive, because we got so much good talent coming out. So you go play somewhere for a year or two. You don't want to come back home.
Like Jeremiah, who was at Cal and now he's at Georgia.
Yeah, I'm excited to go watch him play.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Who was at Georgia first?
No, he was at Cal.
He was at Cal.
Yeah, but he's from Georgia. So
come back home.
Yep, did his first.
I'll tell you another thing that's like a hidden advantage is we got overtime elite down the road. All right, so now not only do you have got Santo, but you got the kid from BYU who just came in. I would hope that you can build on that momentum and get another kid from overtime.
It's literally just a pot of talent down the street, like
huge pot.
Go crazy.
Georgia's we sports crazy, man. It's like, why not? You can't find it in your backyard. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else can come to your backyard and take your thing.
So, I don't know. I feel like it might just be a curse on just Georgia sports. Kind of, they like we'll let y'all have the music.
The Braves, the Braves broke it.
Crazy.
So in Atlanta United broke it.
And if I may, here's something that was not a very well publicized thing, and I think it's fine for me to mention this at this point.
Yeah,
we were talking about the overtime notion. We were super close to getting Ian Jackson. Y'all know this?
I talked to Charles about it.
We know who Ian Jackson is. He called me about it.
Yeah. He was like, bro, we might get him. I'm like, for real?
Nobody in the media knew that we were like, it was us and St. John's.
Yeah.
And he was a surprise portal entrant in the first place.
Yeah. Right.
But he had that overtime experience, and I think his family fell in love with Atlanta is what I think I heard.
Okay.
And like, he knows Sampa to a degree.
I'm about to say, like you said, we might can get him back. Like a year or two, might get him back. You never know.
It didn't work out there with Patino, man. Come on home.
Right. You never know.
Hey, before we get out of here, though, one more thing. So how are our Dogs on the football side? How they going to look this year, man? What are your predictions?
How are we going to look? And I was talking to somebody that, this is the first year in a long time we don't have any like those All-Americans going into the year. Yeah. So it's going to be a team effort.
I was about to say that. I ain't been hearing no buzz.
It's the transfer portal, but it's because the transfer portal. But go ahead.
I mean, hey, look, I'm following the basketball program a little more closely than I am the football program these days, just because somebody's got to do it. I think we got to band together.
We're gonna definitely band together for sure. Like we're gonna turn we're gonna turn the program around.
And one thing I'll also throw out there, we mentioned Ant-Man real quick earlier. Like, it's like from my perspective, one thing I appreciate about him is he's got a love for Atlanta, right? And somewhere in him he's got a love for Georgia, but I feel like we got to make him have a love for Georgia and Georgia basketball.
Because I don't think like that 1 year for him. He just had a goal.
Yeah, and then his coach isn't there anymore, so it's no real connection outside of. I mean, I was there for.
And he was there for half a season, or
not even a little bit more than
a season.
He didn't get the NCAA tournament,
right? I think he went, and I remember when he came out with the AE1s, the red and black version, he called it the UGA version, but UGA couldn't wear it because Adidas, Nike. So he wanted
to do it there,
yeah, but it was like it's literally contradiction. We can't do anything. The idea died. So, but
I mean, like between some of us sitting here right now, you take somebody like Ernie Johnson who throws in those Go Dogs, mentions every time he can.
He's a dog. Yeah.
I mean, but if enough of us band together, I think we can kind of pull Ant-Man closer towards the program over time.
I've definitely been trying, like, man, hey, just go back, just visit.
Yeah.
But I think you're probably one of the biggest next steps.
Yeah.
Between you leaning in and everybody knowing that you're leaning in or wanting to lean in, and then with what the roster that we put together.
Yeah. I got just Josh. I know you hear me, man. We're gonna put this hard out, man. Let me give you a call in the next 2 days.
48 hours,
Yeah,
JB.
come on now. Please take notes. But yeah, hey, appreciate you coming on here and dropping knowledge to us, giving us game and your whole journey. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Yes, sir.
It was great
it was great.
episode.
That was
As a personal request, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Man, long time coming. Glad we could make it happen, man.
Sure.
All right, y'all, we getting out of here. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Find us on all podcast platforms and YouTube. We're at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas. We out.